Good day, my friends. I'm still on the Learn Python programming series. Today we're going to be looking at if, else, and elif statements. Now, I'm going to be providing you with a little markup. Now, today's tutorial is building up on conditions, which is what we learned in the previous tutorial. Now, we have a certain condition here, say 10 greater than 2. Now, if this condition is true, this line of code is going to work or run. Now, if that's not true, this is simply going to run. Okay. Now, this is the basic Python syntax for if-else statement. Now, we have a condition, if a condition. Now, you say if, we have brackets here. Okay. Then we have column. Then the next line is the line of codes that might run. Now, this can be 10 lines of code, might be 100 lines of code. But they must be indented. Okay, in Python, standard indentation is 4 spaces, so you can just leave a tab or a consistent tab will definitely work. Okay, now else is also having a column and lines of code that are going to run. Now we can run this basic module and let's see what we get. You can see 10 is greater than 2. Why did that get printed? We have a condition here, 10 greater than 2, and then if condition. Now, what is this? This is true because 10 is actually greater than 2. Now, so this line of code is going to print out. Okay. Now, if we wanted to place in this condition directly, we can do that. Just copy this, and you can put that in this place. Now, we have 10 greater than 2 as the condition. Now, you don't always have to type condition as a programmer. You have to just specify the condition here. Now, you can do this, and if you run it again, you'll see you're having the same output. Now, I'm going to give you a little we're going to dive a little deeper into this so you get a more grasp on the if, else, and elif statement. Now, let's just collect 2 inputs. We're going to collect the first input as num1. We're going to convert the input type to integer. So, input. So, all we have to do is enter num1. Okay, that's great. Now, num2, the same thing we're going to do. We're going to convert the input type to integer and then collect the input. And what we're going to do here is, instead of enter num1, this time around it's going to be enter num2. Okay. Now we've collected our 2 inputs. So what are we going to do? We are not going to be evaluating 10 and 2. Now we say if num1 is greater than num2, your column, then the indented line of codes that will run. So say we're going to print. Now I'm going to use a custom print which prints multiple variables. Now we can see num1, comma, you give a space, is greater than space again, comma, then num2. Now else, if this doesn't hold, if something isn't greater than the other, it's supposed to be less. So all we have to do is to come here and say else, if this is not true, what is going to happen? We're going to print num1, let's just say num1, comma, space is less than num, or let's just, well, that's okay, it's less than, comma, num2. So if we run that, what are we going to get? Oh, enter num1, 5 and 2, 5 is greater than 2. Let's run that again and say 5 and 7, 5 is less than 7. That works just fine. And what this did, it collected the inputs of num1, stored it to variable num1, collected input of num2, stored it to the variable num2, and now we have an evaluation here. If num1 is greater than num2, which we all looked at in conditions, this is going to run, else this is going to run. Now there's a little scenario here that we didn't handle. Just watch as I run this again. Let's say I entered the number 5. You can see 5 is less than 5, which is not supposed to be so because we actually have to catch when they are equal. Okay, so when we come here, instead of saying the else, now we're going to say elif, which also stands for else if. Now elif, you can't just do a column here, you also have to give it a condition. If that condition holds, you run some lines of code. Now as I'm pressing enter, Python is directly giving me the index of there. So it doesn't actually start from the beginning, but if yours does, just tab a little. Consistent tabs will work. Now we can come elif. Now we say num1 is equal to num2. Okay, and then we're going to type what is going to happen. Now we just have to print they are equal. Okay, now let's take our code for a test run. F5, great. Enter num1, 8 and 8. They are equal. Wow, that's great. Let's try that again. 6 and 4. 6 is greater than 4. That's great. Our code is running just fine. Now, have you ever thought about a login system, how it works? Now we're going to do our own beginner and scratch login system. Okay. Now we're going to declare a field named username. Username is equals to, you can type your name here. So I'm going to say Jeremy. The J is of uppercase, Jeremy, and then we're going to store his password. So password is equal to, I'm going to give a string, very hard password, JJ123. Okay, now we have a username and a password. So now we're going to implement the login function. Okay, now if you can notice, I have some statements up here, which I know might have been confusing some of my users for the previous tutorials because this hash keyword. Now this is a comment in Python, which means this line of code is not going to run. So anything you write in comments are not going to run. So I can come here and just give a little comment, say this is the username, and I can come down here and give another comment, this is the password. Okay, so now let's just collect an input. Collect an input of the name. Enter your name. Okay, and then what we're going to do next is to collect the password. So password is still okay. Let's not use the same variable because we already have password here. Now if we do this, it's going to overwrite this variable password. Okay, so let's just put pw as for the password. Okay, you can use p_w for your password. Now I'm going to give that to be equal to input. Enter your password. Okay, now we have to actually check if this name is equal to the actual username which we have, and then if the password is equal to this password. Okay, I'm just going to rename this to full name just to say or let's just leave that as name actually. So let's come down here and then we'll say if, now we are comparing if this name he has imputed is equal to the username. So we'll say if name is equal to username. Okay, print name is correct. Now what does that do? We'll run this program. F5, enter your name, Jeremy, enter your password, 123. Name is correct. That is the only function we've entered for the main time. Now I'm going to reformat this enter your name to have column, just for better display, column and space, column and space. Now we want to log in the person only when the username and the password is actually correct. So how do we check that? We're going to use nested if statement. Now this if block works. Okay, we can have another else block down here. Else, just print, okay, wrong username or password. I'm sorry, I'm doing some stuff in uppercase and others in lowercase. So we're going to do when if name is equals to username, and if okay, I'm still going to show you another way to do this. If name is equals to username, if the password collected here is also what is equal to password. And what are we going to do? We're going to print welcome to the organization. Let's just see there's a secret information here, secret website. Then we're just going to put comma the person's name. So name. Let's see if this is confusing. If you have any questions, you can leave it out in the comment sections below. Now, if this password, if they are equal, you're going to have this. Now, else, remember I made an if statement here. There's another else statement which is on the same line. Notice this, okay? So this if statement, if it fails, we're just going to print, okay? Wrong. Now that means the password is not equal to the main password. Just say wrong password. So in this case, instead of wrong username or password, we're just going to leave this as wrong username, since this line of code runs only when the username is not correct. Okay. Now if you run this program F5, enter your name. I'm just going to use Jeremy. Then the password is at JJ123. Welcome to the organization's secret website, Jeremy. Wow, that gets printed out to the screen as expected. Now let's try to enter a wrong details. Let's say we had the name correct, Jeremy, and then password was wrong. You can see we just have wrong password. Now what if we just F5 on this? Enter the wrong name, Jimmy. Enter the password 123. You can see we're just having wrong username. We didn't even check for the password. So for your work, you can just go and try to implement another phase of this program where when you have the wrong username, you can also check if the password is correct and say and just return wrong username, or you can also return wrong username, wrong password at the same time. So thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a sub, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.